Good morning, everybody. Silas here today. We got a busy, crazy busy day today. It's supposed to be a pretty hot one, so I'm out here. It's pretty early. I actually got started at about 6 o'clock this morning. I had a bunch of stuff I had to do at home. I had to pack some stuff on eBay, things like that. But now I'm out here at the yard, and I've got this car right here behind me. I've got to get this car out of here. The issue is I do not have a loader out here, so I'm going to have to get this car out with either the skid steer or possibly the excavator. I think I'm going to try the excavator. I was going to try to pull it out with my truck, just hook a chain and pull it out, but there's no tires on the back of it, so I'm just going to have to pick the back up and drag it. Now, the skid steer would probably do it, but I don't know. The skid steer is a little bit on the weak side when it comes to picking up cars. The forks aren't very long. It's great for moving pallets and small stuff, but moving cars around, it's not very good. So I think I'm going to hook a chain on the rear end and tie it to the excavator and just try to tow it out front where the guy can get to it with his trailer a little bit easier. It's got a bumper guard on the back of it here, or the trailer hitch bumper guard thing. I don't know what you would call that, but it's just attached to the bumper. So I'm pretty sure that will fold the bumper if I try to pick it up with that. Now, if I keep the bucket really low, I might be able to just drag it back like this, at least get it out of the hole to where I can hook up to it a little bit easier. My loader is still in the shop. I don't know when I'm going to get that back. Hopefully it comes back sooner rather than later. Right now they have all 3 cylinders taken off of it. They're rebuilding those. When they get those done, they're going to put those back on. Then they're going to replace some broken hoses that were really leaking. That's the main reason why I went in the shop, is it was just dumping tons of fluid, about a gallon and a half a day, I think. So it was pretty bad. But anyway, hopefully it'll be back sometime next week. I don't know for sure though. It may take longer. It just depends on if they can get the parts or not. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to hook this at. Ouch, I just put my knees right onto a patch of stickers. That felt good. I wish this car had tires on the back and not the front if it was just going to have 2. Make my life a lot easier, but we'll figure something out. I think what I'm going to do is hook them on the bumper, not the bumper guards, the bumper brackets. There we go. We'll see if that works. I'm going to be real gentle with it. If it looks like it's not going to work, then I'll hook it somewhere else. So let's see here. Is this going to work? I think it is. Hey, bingo. Perfect. That's going to work good. Cool. This is working pretty good, actually. I'm pretty impressed so far. This is actually working better than I thought it was going to. I was kind of worried about this. It would have been a lot easier with the loader. I'd already be done, but you know, for what it is, this is working pretty good. Yeah, I gotta say, this is pretty slick actually. I'm pretty stoked. I was really not expecting it to go this easy. There we go. I was even able to lift it up in the air. That bumper's already got a few dents in it, so that's not gonna hurt it any. Get all that dirt out from underneath it. This is a little bit hard because I can't see what's behind me as I go. So I'm kind of trying to watch the car, watch where I'm driving, and try to steer and drive with my feet and everything all at the same time. It's a little bit of a challenge, but we're getting it. I know a lot of times people ask me why I don't disable the beeper on our equipment, and it's for stuff exactly like this. I can't watch what's behind me the entire time I'm going. And so the last thing I need is for somebody to pull up right behind me as I'm backing up or something like that. And you say, oh, nobody would ever do that. Even with the beeper, people still pull up right behind us while we're working sometimes. And my dad actually backed over a guy's truck one time. He was crushing cars, and the guy literally pulled up right behind him as he was putting the car in the crusher. And he backed up and ran over the guy's hood. And so just for liability reasons, I can't disable the beeper. Now, if the beeper just quits working, that's one thing. But if I intentionally disable the beeper and then somebody were to get run over or something like that, That's just a massive lawsuit waiting to happen. What I really should have done was turn the excavator around before I ever started. That way, I wouldn't be trying to do everything in reverse. Doing everything backwards just adds a whole nother level of difficulty that I'm just not used to with this thing. I've only got probably, 100, 150 hours behind the controls of this thing. You compare that to the loader, I've got probably 15,000 hours behind the wheel of a loader at least, maybe more. If it wasn't for the power lines, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I have to dodge all these power lines that are hanging so low. Oh, it just came unhooked again. I was trying to dodge a stupid power line. It went so good till I got out here. Oh no, it didn't. The hook completely came off. That's nice. The little cotter key that holds the pin in completely sheared. So I'll have to deal with that here in a minute. And now I have the car blocking my road right in the middle of the road. I think if I keep tension on it, I just got to go straight back now pretty much. So I think we'll be okay. There we go. Now I can pick it back up again. Got underneath that power line. And there we go, just like that. We made it. And we didn't take out any power lines or break anything other than a cotter key on the chain. All right, we got the car out. Here it is. It's a 1955 Ford custom line. Check out the inside. It's got the radio, the clock, temperature controls, the little see-through instrument cluster. Pretty neat car, and it's not terrible. I mean, it could probably be restored if you really wanted to, or it would make a really, really good parts car. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. I don't know if he's going to try to fix it up and make something out of it, or if he's just going to use it for parts. But either way, I'm glad to see it go to a new home. I was going to cut it up for art and part the rest out, but I'm always happy when somebody else is willing to take a whole vehicle off of my hands. It saves me a whole lot of time and effort. Now, I don't make as much money doing it this way. I'd make a lot more if I were to cut it up, but I've got a whole field clear full of cars to cut up out back already, so it's not like I'm hurting for stuff to do. That car is headed to a new home. That's actually a subscriber that bought that car, and I guess he is just buying it for parts for another one that he has. It's getting pretty warm out, but it's not that bad yet. I just went and got some lunch, got something cold to drink. I got a guy coming to pick up a truck here end right now, so I want to go grab that. I set a bunch of stuff out earlier. Got this mower right here and a trailer, and I forget what else I set out, but I set it out, took pictures of it, listed it for sale. So one of the things that I sold was that rear end, so that sold pretty quick. It was only on there for about 30 minutes or so, but trying to clean stuff up out here, it's getting a little bit disorganized now. I'm not going to be able to fix it overnight. I've been working on it for the last 4 or 5 months now, but little by little, we're getting it there. Yeah, there might be a way of swapping axles. I'm not sure how that works on these.
Yep. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Almost. There it goes. There we go. It's gonna be a tight fit. There we go. Yeah, it's not gonna quite fit in there. Maybe at an angle? Well, no, because that door won't close. It's insane how much easier it is to do this when you have a loader compared to a skid steer or other things like that. He's going to be here Monday to pick this up, and I have to have it out where he can get to it, so I got to figure something out. I guess I'll just hook a chain on it and drag it like I did the Ford. And welcome back, everybody. Silas here today, and I gotta say, it is much nicer this week than it was last week. When I left on Friday, I don't even remember how hot it was, but it was too hot. Anyway, the people that were coming to pick up that Model A, I thought they were gonna leave Wisconsin this morning and be here tonight, but they actually left yesterday and they're here this morning. However, I have people coming to this yard already that I had scheduled, so I can't just up and leave. So they're gonna try to load that car on their own over at the other place while I'm working here. If it doesn't work out, as soon as I'm done here, I'll go over there and help. Here's a truck here that came in the other day. I never showed you guys. Now there's something a little bit unusual about this truck. You tell me if you see it. Can you imagine driving that? I can't even imagine. That would be horrible to try to drive that. But anyway, every time I crush one of these trucks, I get tons of messages and comments saying, why in the world would you crush something like that? Those trucks are worth a fortune. There's tons of good parts on those that people buy. And I know there's some parts that I've sold on eBay before, like the throttle bodies sell, and the steering column will sell, and the instrument cluster, and a few other odds and end pieces. But people say that these things are loaded with good parts, and these are really popular trucks right now. So I put it on Marketplace last week when I got it, and so far I think it's been 4 or 5 days. Yeah, 5 days now, and so far the only thing I've sold off of this is nothing. I've had a ton of messages asking how much for this, how much for that, and I've been telling everybody prices, and then I never hear back from them. And like one guy wanted a steering column, I told him $75. It's a floor shift tilt column with a good key. Everything on it works. It's just kind of ugly on the steering wheel, but you can take that off and replace that. I didn't think $75 was too bad. I mean, on eBay they sell for about $200, maybe more. Like the instrument cluster, I told a guy $40. That's a $100 bill on eBay. No response. I had a guy wanting the seat belts out of it. Those are about $200 on eBay. I told him $40 for all of them. No response. I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that, yeah, parts on these sell really good if you give them away, like for $5 here and $5 there. But you guys know me, I'm a little bit too busy for all that. So we'll give it a little bit longer, and if nothing else sells, what I'll probably do is I'll go ahead and pop the steering column, the instrument cluster, and the temperature controls out of it. Actually, the temperature controls, now that I look at them, may or may not be worth saving. So anyway, for sure the instrument cluster, steering column, throttle body. The rest of it will probably get the squeeze. I might go ahead and save the wheels off of it just for rollers for old trucks, but beyond that, I don't think it's gonna make it. I've slowly but surely been working on this pile over here of these vehicles, but I kind of stopped on it. I kind of want to make a video about just this because I think it'll be pretty interesting. I flew my drone over the other day, and there's quite a few older vehicles in here. I mean, we got this old Plymouth Fury up here on the edge, and the old Jeep and the 4Runner, and those are somewhat interesting. But back beyond those, there's some vehicles you just don't see very often anymore. I think there's a couple old early 70s square bodies. There's a 70, I think, GMC truck in there. And like, here's an old Astro van. I know it's not a cool vehicle, but you just never see those anymore. And then on top of it is a Festiva. And I think there's just a few older 80s vehicles in here. There's a few 70s vehicles in here. Lincolns, Diplomats, just some interesting stuff. I don't know how else to say it. These cars have been here for a long time. I stacked these cars here probably, man, I couldn't even tell you. It's been at least 6 or 7 years, probably longer than that. Some of them will probably go ahead and hang on to, like the 4Runner, try to sell a few things off of that before I crush it. But a bunch of them are just gonna get the squeeze. So there's gonna be lots of good content of saving vehicles out of the pile and crushing vehicles out of the pile. So I'm just gonna wait on this area here until I have time to just record the whole process. But I do have an assortment of vehicles here ready to crush already. These are ones that I processed out of the pile. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is fire up the crusher and go ahead and start crushing. And now remember, this is not the crusher that I was using at the other yard. This is a different crusher. It doesn't crush quite the same. As you can see, the last thing I crushed was actually that bale of bicycles. So anyway, we're going to get this fired up, get the loader out, and get busy.
I know
We've got almost 3 loads on the ground now. I was 1 car short. I still have that little S10 Blazer in there, but I didn't have a second car to crush with it, so I just left it there. We'll crush it another day. Looking pretty good. I'm kind of running out of room to put bundles. I can probably get 1 more load in here, but once I come back over here and I know I'm going to be here all day again, I'm probably going to try to schedule a live load and some semi loads out of here, get these moved back out. Eventually, this area right on the other side of the fence, there's a bunch of old cars in there. I'd like to get all those moved, then I can start stacking bundles in there. Problem is I still don't have a loader there at the other yard. As you guys know, that's why I drug that car out with the excavator. I may not have a loader there for another 2 or 3 weeks after I film this. So I've got all these old cars, and I just got these 2 international trucks over here. I guess we can check those out. But I've got all these old cars coming in, and I can haul them out to 4th Street. I've got my trailer. I just don't have a good way of unloading them. Like this truck here is missing the wheel on the other side, so it's kind of hard to get it off my trailer. Now I can drag it off, but then I have to just drag it off in the road, and then it's blocking my road. And then ones like this, I can't do nothing with this. Which this truck here, there's not much good left on it anyway. What I'd really like to do on this one is once I get it there, just cut the 4 bolts holding the cab on, and just go ahead and lift it off this frame, and then I can scrap the frame. Then I've got like this old Dodge panel truck here. I thought that would sell quick, but evidently nobody's really interested in that one, so I don't know, may end up having to cut it up for art as well. And then whatever else I find in the pile over yonder, whatever I keep out of there, I'm going to want to take out there as well. Plus I have 3 or 4 vehicles down here on the road that I want to save. So I've got probably 30 or 40 vehicles that I want to save and not crush, but I've got to be able to get them out to the other yard, in which I can get them out there. I just have to be able to unload them. So I can't wait till I get that loader back. But anyway, I am done here. Absolutely nobody showed up that was supposed to show up. I haven't even heard from most of them, and the rest of them all got a hold of me and canceled. So that's kind of frustrating. That's neither here nor there. I'm gonna head out there, see if they got that Model A loaded. If they haven't, I'll go ahead and help them get that done, and we'll see what else is happening. Headed to a new home all the way to Wisconsin. There it goes. That was a cool car. For those that don't know where that car came from, that's one I drug out of a tree row. Look back through my videos. It was the one, something about saving 20 some cars. That was probably one of my favorites. It was there. It was back in the trees. He's gonna actually build that car. He's gonna take it home and redo it. Be a nice little project. Okay, let's see if we can get this done without breaking anything. Except for the car. We're gonna break the car, that's a fact. Now the tricky part is going to be getting it in the pile, because I have the bucket sticking out the other side of the car. So this is always a little bit of a challenge, but I can get it good enough, I guess. And just try to tap it into place. Kind of go like this, kind of get this side of the car roughly where you want it, and then you take the bucket out and it should fall. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Then come over here. There we go. Just like that, bingo. I'm slowly getting better at running this machine. He's gonna bring me one more car here in a little bit, so I'm just gonna go ahead and leave this out here by the road. That way I can unload the next one. So a guy just brought me a catalytic converter, and he had this stuff in the back of his truck too. So I went ahead and bought it all. I gave him 20 bucks for everything in the tub. I already sorted it. This is just a couple plain Jane hubcaps and a few center caps, and I forget what all's in here. A couple horn buttons. Nothing I really want, nothing I really care about. I mean, there's probably $10 there, and I don't know, there's probably like 30 bucks in that pile, but it would take forever to sell it all. So I'm going to try to find somebody that wants it. If not, I'll take it out back and hang it up and use it for practice for you know what. And this is the good stuff in here. Now this is really a shame on this mirror. That's a late 50s Edsel, which I guess that's the only years they made Edsels. But anyway, if this wasn't broken and it was in better condition, that's a $200, $250 mirror. But you know, even in this condition here, the mirror is still free. So I think somebody might want this just for parts. So I can probably still get, you know, 30, 40 bucks out of it just like it is. Set it up there out of the way. And got this old Zenith wire wheel. That's a pretty neat piece. It's obviously the wheel's gone. It's just the cap and the little thing that it screws onto that holds the wheel on, makes the wheel turn. Then I've got a late 50s Cadillac, like a 57, 58 Cadillac power, or not power, but a remote mirror. That's a pretty neat piece. And then we got a 3/4 ton Ford hubcap, and then a pair of 1/2 ton Ford hubcaps. That one there's 4-wheel drive. Obviously that one there's probably either 2-wheel drive or off the rear. So a little bit of good stuff in there. I don't know what it's all worth exactly, but there's probably $100, $150 worth of stuff there. Now, before we close the day out, I've got to go through, find everything that sold on eBay. I've got a throttle body right there. And I know I sold a few other things. I just got to find them all. That's the bad thing. I don't really have any organization to my inventory that I have listed. I just have to, I put everything that's listed all in one area. Everything that's here is currently on eBay, so at least I have that. So I just have to go through here and find the stuff that sold. I know this sold here, and this sold. Got those two pieces, and I can't remember what else there was. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, the real rusted V8 carburetor. Set that down there. And let's see, I think there was a couple more things. A couple international emblems somewhere here. They are. Lodestar. Sold those. And then I also sold a carburetor. I think it was this one here. But the person never paid for it yet, so I gotta wait on that. I'm not gonna bother taking it home until they pay for it. Probably 1 out of every 15 items the person never pays for. They just hit by it now, or sometimes they make an offer and then you accept the offer and then they never pay for it. I don't know what people's thing is. I guess they think I'm like Amazon and it's not that big of a deal. They never take into consideration that I am a real human being with a family and I do everything by myself. So when they act like that, they're not getting some big corporation. They're getting a regular person, but I guess it is what it is. It's part of the business. 3, maybe 4 years now, I haven't had this many items on eBay. I think I have, at the time of filming this, about 80 items, and I'm trying to get up over 100. And I actually have to package 6 things tonight, and that's the most I've had to package in one night in a long time. Here about 2 months ago, there's a cool spotlight there, but here about 2 months ago, I only sold one thing all month for like $9, and that's all I made. Got that old Little Ford, however you say it, sign back there. That's pretty neat. Lots of cool stuff on there, and stuff just kind of sells here and there. As always, the link to my eBay is in the description below if you want to check out and see what I have listed for sale. Obviously, it's going to be mostly car parts, but I do sell a few things like that Little Ford sign, and I've got a few other arts and craft type things, and I've got some decoration stuff like this old scale back here. That old spotlight. So I've got a pretty good assortment, and like I say, I'm trying to get in the habit of continually listing more and keeping stuff on there. Anyway, I've got about 20 minutes to kill, so I'm going to go ahead and throw some more stuff on eBay, or at least take some pictures while I'm in here, and then I'm going to head out, take all this stuff home, package it. I'm not sure what tomorrow holds or what the rest of this week holds. If I do anything interesting, I will definitely bring you guys along with me. Thank you everybody for all your support. We're getting closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Remember to get out there and find your own adventure. See you later.